Hi everybody, Raiden back with another... Oh shit. Hi everybody, Raiden back. God damn it. I got my mind on the Raiden and the Raiden on my mind. Raiden back with another Mechabellum video. Today, we counter the Raiden. And our opponent in today's video is Sparty. For anybody who watches Stony videos, you'll recognize Sparty. He's in quite a few of Stony's videos. At the time of this game, Sparty and I were both like 1925 MMR. If anybody doesn't know Sparty, you should definitely check him out. He streams on Twitch a couple times a week. I'm not sure how often he really does it, but I will link his Twitch channel in the description below. We are going to start out here with the Typhoon Specialist with the Saber-tooths and the Fangs. And Sparty is going with Quick Supply Specialist with Tarantulas and Fangs. Now, when you're playing against the Raiden, something I found that works pretty well, something you want, is you want lots of Fangs in front of very tanky units. So these Saber-tooths will be our tanky unit. If your opponent doesn't run Ionization on Raiden, which Sparty doesn't in this video, you can use like the Field Maintenance Saber-tooth, you can use War Factory, anything with a lot of HP basically you want to put in front of that unit, and then behind you want your anti-air units. And so in this game we're going to be using Typhoons and these Saber-tooths. And just wanted to show you one way that you can beat them starting out, you know, here in this video. So I've also picked up a couple packs of crawlers, and my opponent here has gone with the crawlers as well. So it's Tarantulas and Fangs and crawlers versus Saber-tooth, Fangs, and crawlers. And he actually takes this round because our Saber-tooth gets stuck on the left shooting a bunch of chaff and isn't able to connect to these major units. But you can see we've spread out and he is one-sided aggro here on the left. I also think it's a mistake not to meet the Raiden's head on. I think you need units right in front of them. You don't want to do like an asim aggro kind of setup against the Raiden. So we do lose round one here. His crawlers are just a little better. I only got one pack of crawlers. I just kind of made like little pockets of Saber-tooth with Fangs. So I think he might take Rhino Assault, but I'm not really 100% sure. I like the haste module because I like to put it on Typhoons, and I just wanted to see how well it would do against Raiden. I knew Sparty was going Raiden because everybody's going Raiden, right? Everybody's playing Raiden. It's just like, I don't know, everybody just picks it and plays it, so I haven't been doing that as much. I've just been trying to counter it the whole time. So that's why I've kind of started to figure out what to do against it. Sparty levels his tower here to level 2. Good idea because we have our Saber-tooth gunning that thing down. I've gone with 2 packs of arc lights before I get my Typhoon next round because I need chaff clear, but I really should have chaff clear clearing this center Fang so that we can connect to these tarantulas. So spreading my arc lights out like this was a little bit of a mistake. I should have put them closer into the center to take out these Fangs here. Also add crawlers on the flank, and Sparty adds more crawlers as well as a pack of Phoenix here. So see how we're stuck shooting tarantulas now, and my Saber-tooth is still shooting chaff. I should have had the arc lights more in the center, so next round I'm going to try and remedy that the misplacement that I had there. And we'll basically lose this round as well, kind of similarly, but we should be able to take out this tarantula. Since we'll get the tower. So he's beaten us so far. Let me know in the comments what you guys have been doing against Raiden, because it's kind of, I don't know, it feels like everybody's just playing the same unit, and it's kind of like when Typhoon Boat was going. I might need to take a little bit of a break because it's kind of driving me nuts. I just think it's boring, like everybody playing the same thing. Round 3, we are offered some free units here. The wasps actually look pretty good. I know they're good against Raiden in the chance that he picks it. Also considering maybe steel ball, not steel ball, sorry, the melting point. Sparty does take the steel balls. I think that's pretty good for him. I have used steel balls with the Raiden, and I think that they're like the perfect chaff to run ahead of it. But I do go with the wasps here because I already have haste module, and level 3 wasps with haste module is pretty nice. I have also taken jump drive off my wasps. I run elite, aerial spec, and range just because the jump drive is a little expensive now. Sparty flanks us with steel balls and crawlers, and I've played Sparty maybe like I'm not sure how many times, but enough times to know that he likes to flank, so I know I need to defend my flank here. I add 2 typhoons here. We got one for free, and I added an extra one, so I do put down a missile to defend my flank here. I put this typhoon back behind my Sabertooth in the off chance that the Raiden comes, it won't be immediately sniped. Now, Chain will get to it eventually, but if I can make Typhoon large enough, it'll at least maybe tank a couple shots. And also I have it back in the center here, specifically against these fangs, so that this Sabertooth can connect to these tarantulas quicker. Sparty has picked up the Mustangs to add the haste module to, and I also have haste module, so I'm probably going to stick it on these wasps. I am beaconing these crawlers that I put here last turn this way. I'm sure people have seen this beacon by now. It distracts like all these units to run away while our units can kind of get in here and clear the way. I put the wasps back like this in case he flanks, and I add some crawlers here on the left as well, which also blocks this. He has steel balls here as well, so we'll be able to take out both of these flanks. So good thing I moved my wasps back. And I only knew to do that because I played against Sparty before. So because we have this beacon going out here, all of his chaff does kind of run away, which allows us to take out his phoenixes. So finally, round 3, we're able to take the round off of a good beacon here. And also adding the typhoons are really strong. Nice, pretty big round actually. Nice round 3 there. So what you want to do against these Raiden players is you want to start to try and take them out early before the Raiden hits the board. You want to sort of already have the counters in place, right? So round 4 here, we're given some cards. I'm deciding between improved firepower control system and shield airdrop. I know that Raiden does sort of take out the shields kind of quick, but at least in this position right now, I need levels on my Sabertooths like really badly. And so I need to defend my units, and so I do take the shield airdrop. Round 4, he goes with Raiden. He runs these techs. What I've seen people do is they've taken Fork off, they've added ionization. 4 tanky units. You'll see the way I use my Sabertooths here. So I add a pack of crawlers here to the flank, and I also take impact drill just in case he decides to like impact drill as well. I just want to be shutting down this flank as soon as possible. I do still have this missile here, so I don't really have to defend my back left flank as closely as I have my back right. Sparty also here grabs a second pair of Mustangs and has a level 3 tower here now. We add a Typhoon to the right side to pair with our Sabertooth over here. I really like pairing Typhoon with Sabertooth. And I'm going to keep these wasps here just in case he adds to this or something. I'm not going to remove these wasps until I know that I'm safe here. Also take attack enhancement, and so that is our turn. And we'll have this bubble shield here, which is kind of nice. You'll see it tanks like a couple shots from Raiden. It does go down, but it does save our units for a little bit. He's also missiled out our flank that we used last time, so his units aren't running away as far. Now, he does take out this left side pretty quickly. And he has a level 3 tower here, but we do have these wasps, these typhoons, and this tanky Sabertooth, so let's see how this turn goes here. And we have one wasp coming over here to hit this tower. I think this one wasp right here is the hero of this round. Look, it takes the tower and actually makes it possible for Typhoon to clear out this Raiden. So now that I know he's in the Raiden, I need to immediately answer it. So I only have one anti-air unit on the board, which is Typhoon, so it's going to have to be good enough because I can't afford to start getting into anything new. I have to use what I have. We have some pretty good options here around 5. I think Steel Ball Production Line is like the best thing to put on Raiden, but the enhancement module also is just crazy, like with Raiden, so he does grab that. I think that's probably correct. He gets to sell his Phoenix now, so he stonks his Phoenix, and if he gets any levels on Raiden, he'll have that enhancement module. Luckily, we've been able to prevent that so far. The Portable Shield, I'm thinking about enhancement module, but Portable Shield will make my Sabertooth extra tanky here. So I do take the Portable Shield and put it on him, and then I immediately go field maintenance so that he'll stay alive. He'll just keep tanking, basically, right? And maybe Raiden won't be able to kill him. And my Typhoons hopefully will be able to stay back far enough to take him out if he doesn't take Chain first. And I sell my wasps here so I can transfer the haste module. Yeah, so I'm gonna use Typhoon here, and I get aerial specialization because I want to be killing these Raidens. It also adds an extra 30 range to these guys. So they're 130 range. So if he takes range on Raiden, it won't really matter as much. But for now, the extra range from Typhoon will be really nice. I think it's really important if you're using Typhoons to have anti-air for this range. On this round also, I decided to missile out this pack of Fangs. I want to get to Raiden as soon as possible. Sparty here has decided to missile out our crawlers again to try and just remove this threat of the mobile beacon. He sold off his steel balls over here on the right. So now we just have the single pack of crawlers with impact drill. He's added mustangs up here behind his tower to try and shoot our units while we're stuck hitting his tower. That's a pretty good idea as well. And so that's our turn there. It's just a couple more Typhoons with anti-air. And I've put the haste module on this guy, and I'm still going to be beaconing. So Sparty has 400 left. He also takes impact drill, and he actually has an extra tower enhancement. We don't have the defensive one, so I thought that this crawler would lose, but actually ours still wins somehow, which is nice. Very lucky for us since I haven't leveled my towers. I also take speed. I want to do this quicker. He puts down a missile here to missile out our Typhoons. Luckily, they have enough health to survive something like that, though. And so, because I missiled out the center, and we have this healing Sabretooth, this Raiden is stuck shooting this guy. And look, he just hasn't even really taken that much damage. And the anti-air Typhoons can take down this Raiden. And it still hasn't leveled, which is really, really big for us. So you want to be playing these rounds tempo-based against the Raiden. Like, do things that they have to keep reacting to, right? So this field maintenance now is a pain for him, so he might need to take EMP, which is an expensive investment for him to go on Raiden before range. So I'm trying to get him in a place where he has to overspend to deal with situations like this. So he has to either use like steel balls against this, or a melting point, or get EMP on Raiden, all of which are expensive investments. And now I can just keep my tempo plays moving, right? So I can take orbital bombardment here, for example. You just can't let the Raiden like get online, right? So you have to keep them reacting to things, keep putting fangs, keep putting things that can kill the Raiden, but also keep things that are tanky enough to survive in front of your killing units. You know, it's all about like the pace of your play against the Raiden right now. I assume that they're going to patch the Raiden and it's going to get fixed. But until then, if you're going to play Mechabellum, you're going to be facing the Raiden a lot. So you really have to be thinking about how to get your opponent to have to like spend expensively versus what you're doing. And so he's just gone 2 more Raidens with range, but he still has the problem of the healing Sabretooth with the portable shield here in the front. So this still doesn't necessarily cut it, right? He does need EMP because he has to shut down this tech. On this turn, I've added another pack of crawlers here and taken the defensive enhancement. So Sparty really does, he likes his flanks, and he does like to, look, so he's added more. He likes to develop them and try and outpace your crawlers and stuff. So I've added a second pair of crawlers here so that he has to add an extra one. And I will also defend this side. I saw that my missile went out last turn, so I have to be defending my flank here. If these flanks get in, I'll just basically lose the game immediately. I'm still opting to beacon the crawlers in this way. And so even though he will be like missiling these, or has been missiling them, a few of them do survive, so that's why I like this beacon. I've leveled my Typhoons here. I've also leveled my Sabretooth to level 3. I've gone with an extra pair of crawlers here to be flanking from the outside, try and draw fire from these Mustangs so our units can still get to the tower. Sparty on this turn takes the shield airdrop to probably shield the orbital bombardment. So let's see how we do against 3 Raidens here. I do add fangs to defend, so we do take out these crawlers. You can see these Mustangs fly over here now to take these crawlers instead, which paves the way for our Sabretooth to start hitting this tower sooner. Our shield airdrop has been saving our units for quite a while, long enough now where we can take out this tower. And we still do have a Typhoon and a big healing tank here. So once we take out this Tarantula, this Sabretooth will be like impossible to kill. And the anti-air specialization on these Typhoons is basically perfect. It's exactly what we need to stay back and do extra damage to these Raidens. And this Sabertooth, you can see how effective having a really tanky unit is. The Sabertooth's just existing, just not dying here. So now on this turn, I know he has to take EMP, at least, on his Raiden, since he has so many. And he'll probably take Chain also. But because I've got him low enough, I can kind of just try and tempo him out here on this round 7. We do get free units. So my plan to tempo him out is I'm going to do a big Vulcan play to try and kill his chaff. And actually, Vulcan looks best for both of us. There is the idea of going Melting Point here since it's so tanky as well. Like, tanky units are really exactly what you want against Raiden, especially if they don't run ionization. But the oil play does strike my fancy here. So I put a Vulcan right here in the center, and I don't need the other one. I'm going to sell it for money. So he's gone with the Chain and the EMP. It's kind of what I suspected, because he wants to shut this tech down on the Sabertooth. Party has added a Vulcan here, is done with this crawler beacon, so he's dedicated a whole Vulcan to it. He also puts one back here against our crawlers and stuff, and I sell that Vulcan, like I said. I put the oil down here, but he does shield against it. I add my shield airdrop here over the top of my tankiest units. I add 4 missiles to prevent any flanking. He's actually sold his flank here now in the back right. And let's see what units I'm going to pick up on this turn. So basically that's him spent, right? He spent a lot on these techs. So I don't think that the barrier is ever worth getting when you're facing Raiden with the Typhoon, since it just deletes the barrier. So I go with Mech Rage instead. I want full attack on these guys. And I'm deciding to try and end the game here by loaning and taking all those buttons. I put 1 Typhoon back just in case of more flanking cheese. And I add another Typhoon here. And this beacon is perfect. So the idea behind this beacon is our units will continue to move along this path. Hopefully take out this tower like it has. And it gives the Typhoon enough of range. And since Raiden locks onto our units here, they won't be shooting our units here. And the aerial specialization should be able to target the Raidens from afar as they make that walk. So the oil didn't work because he did shield against it. That's good play for him. We do take down this tower though, like I said. And because of that, our Typhoons here are able to have enough range to take out these guys, walk behind the tower, take out this tower now. And our Typhoons in the front and our tanky Saber should live long enough to finish the game. So it is possible to beat the Raiden with like Typhoons and Sabers, but it is really hard still. You have to make good mobile beacons. You have to be thinking constantly about what your opponent might be doing to try and get back at you. And you have to be tempoing them out. Because the Raiden is so overpowered, it requires you to keep making changes that they have to react to in order to beat what you're doing. And it's really important to add tanky units. So let's take a peek at the board here. In the final round, I decided to go Mech Rage on Typhoons, so that our Typhoons would be quick enough to make that mobile beacon journey and take out this tower, and hopefully at the end be able to clear the Raidens after taking also the tower that the Raidens are currently defending. I made sure I also defended my flanks just in case of a big... You could also potentially, right, you could put Raiden back here. So like it does pretty good as a flanking unit also, just because of how difficult it is to kill. And how effective its chain is at like taking towers. So that's what all these missiles were for. We took the Vulcan and tried to oil, but he did shield against it, which is a good idea. But our Vulcan still was decent at clearing some chaff and maybe a few of these Mustangs. He did keep both of his Vulcans just because he had a kind of a crawler problem. I tried to keep that pressure on with the crawlers, and so you can see that he kept the Vulcans instead of selling them. And this Sabertooth with the portable shield and the field maintenance was never... I mean, it on the last round here with the EMP, it was sort of responded to. But what you really need when you're going Raiden is you need something that can take out really tanky guys like this Sabertooth, because these Raidens got stuck shooting this guy for like 3 turns in a row, all the while our Typhoons with anti-air were able to sit back far enough not to be in range and actually take him out. Since they have actually the same range they have 115, but with aerial specialization, they have 145. And it's 145 on Raiden as well. If you're using anti-air units, they need to sit back far enough out of range of the Raiden in order to actually do that work, because Raiden also counters any counter that you would play against it. So that was pretty nice to defeat Sparty, who was going with the Raiden. Sorry, Sparty. I mean, basically every game is like a Raiden game right now. Like, the game really needs to be patched and fixed. They need to do something. The gameplay is just really boring right now. It's all Raidens, and it's people trying to constantly come up with ways of like beating it. I mean, if you are going to keep playing and you are trying to come up with ways of defeating it, you need a few things right now, right? To beat the Raiden, you need a really tanky unit in the front, like the Sabretooth with the field maintenance. But honestly, also, if they don't run the ionization on Raiden, you can also just use like a War Factory with armor and like a bunch of anti-air Mustangs, or maybe marksmen, but probably Mustangs at best. You can use really tanky melting points. I've seen that work a couple times. But you just, you really got to keep your opponent like spending. Like, try and be more efficient with your economy when you're trying to like take out the Raiden, and use lots of flanks and stuff to like keep him spending on like dealing with those things, so that it keeps preventing your opponent from going heavier and heavier into the Raidens. And you just need to keep the Raiden from getting fully online as soon as possible and like tempoing your opponent out, which is a lot more difficult to do than like I'm making it sound like. Use this as a guideline. I'm not sure exactly how reliable this strategy that I went with here is exactly, because it did take him a while to respond to my Sabretooth. Like, if he responds to my Sabretooth sooner, or even on the last round takes like the level 3 melting point, I might have a bigger problem there. But, just try and keep them guessing, try and keep them playing around what you're doing, and I would say good luck. But this is an idea for how to beat it. So to anybody out there watching, good luck if you're going to use this. Otherwise, stick with anti-air Mustangs, maybe some melting points, stuff like that, and just stay solid. And if worse comes to worse, just mirror their Raiden. Maybe you have like better chaff. You have better chaff clear. You need lots of chaff clear if you're going Raiden. And I mean, honestly, you need lots of chaff clear if you're facing Raiden too, because people just build lots of chaff to keep them alive. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks very much for watching. I hope that this helps. I would expect a patch for Raiden to nerf it. It's just a little too ridiculous right now in the near future. So until then, thanks very much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.